And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today, we are looking at a hypothetical trade that could really help the Washington Commanders on the offensive side of the ball. I think that this is a trade that really addresses a situation that has been talked about this year with the Terry McLaurin being the wide receiver one, and then not having necessarily a clear wide receiver two to kind of open it up a little bit more. But this trade scenario, it is wild, but we're going to look at this and see if this is a possible thing that the Washington Commanders would do. I thought that this was interesting. And so this trade is suggesting that the Washington Commanders would go after Jamar Chase. And so because the Washington Commanders have the financial flexibility, because we know that Jamar Chase is going to want another contract going into this next season. I think that that's been talked about this season with his time with the Bengals. But Jamar Chase would certainly give the Washington Commanders another, just skill player that can really open it up from the wide receiver position. It is going to certainly unlock Jaden Daniels even more, being able to go to him. But the cost to go out there and get him, this is where I don't know if this would be possible. This is just, again, a mock trade. But the Bengals would get a first round pick, a second round pick, a fifth round pick, and then they would get a first round from 2026, a third round pick in 2026. And then obviously we would get Jamar Chase. And so if you got a chance to look at today's football game, I mean, Jamar Chase was incredible out there against the Dallas Cowboys. 14 receptions, 177 yards. He had 2 touchdowns today. And so, look, there's no question that Jamar Chase can definitely really, take the lid off of a defense, and there's not anything that he can't do from a wide receiver standpoint. But I just think that when you look at the type of deal that it would take to get Jamar Chase over here, I think that this is the type of deal that maybe I think the past front office would have made. I think that front office was just more about just making the splash. And I think that this front office is really geared towards having a structure. It's geared towards having a plan. And I just don't see the Washington Commanders going out there and giving up draft capital like this, because don't get me wrong, Jamar Chase is an incredible player, incredible player. He's definitely going to help Jaden Daniels. Like, if we were to get him here, there's no question that I think we're gonna have a great year and everything else. But I think for the long term, though, that's more of like a short term fix when you do this and you send all this draft capital over for Jamar Chase. I think that that's more short term. I think for the long term, you want to have the draft picks because I love the fact that he's had 99 or 93 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns with a 14.2 average. But you just don't give up, the future of your franchise and the direction of your franchise for Jamar Chase. And so, as much as I would love to have Jamar Chase, I just don't think that that's a good situation. Furthermore, one of the things that they point out here is that he's looking at an average salary of $31.6 million on 4 years. So you're looking at about 126, 0.39 million deal. And so I just don't know if the Washington Commanders are going to be likely to just make that type of deal, because we didn't go all in this trade season, for a player like that we're going to have to go to the negotiation table with. So I just don't see that. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments, because I do think a player like Jamar Chase certainly helps this team. I just think that this front office is not going to make that type of move. And I think that we could probably, in the next year or so, we might be able to find a nice wide receiver out of the draft. And also, too, there's the situation that, maybe there's a free agent out there. I just talked about this just a video ago. That was brought up in an article that maybe a Chris Godwin could be coming, because they're in free agency. And so that's something that would be, I think a significant upgrade from the wide receiver position. And it is really going to give you a chance to move forward and really build with the same timeline with Jaden Daniels. And so, anyhow, let me know in the comments, do you think the Washington Commanders should make a wild trade like this? We'll be talking a little bit more about the Washington Commanders. We'll be talking more about this game coming up against the Saints and some of the things to look out for, because we do have some injury updates around, around Derek Carr. And then also, too, we'll be talking a little bit more about Marshawn Lattimore, and it looks like his return is set here against the Saints. And so, anyway, this is Rico, this Washington Commanders Insider. I'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.